big spoon. And that is a gold wash plant. And these are river gravels that come from a river that's long since gone away. And now we're left with a creek. This creek is auriferous. That means it has gold in the gravel. Normally I would take my gold pan and my spoon and go looking for the best possible gravel with gold in it. But today we're skipping this step. I want to do 1,000 spoons of dirt into Harold over there. That's right, we're going to shovel like madmen. The question becomes, if we just shovel dirt from an auriferous creek, can we get gold? And if we move enough dirt, will it be worth it? All of this is our dirt. We're discharging into a tailings pond so we don't silt up the creek. Let's get shoveling. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 1% of what we need to do. That right there is 10 shovels. Let's just do that 100 more times. .6% and the flies are killing my face. You only ever off. Have you ever sworn at a fly like it can understand English? I have. This type of prospecting is the worst kind of gambling. The creek absolutely has gold in it, but I have no idea how much gold is just sitting in any given random amount of gravel, and that's what we were setting out to answer. 51 shovels. Good work, tailing pond. You're going to be full by the end of this. Now these are generic creek gravels, and I do know that there is gold in this area, not in any kind of significant quantity. So I'm assuming that I'm going to get a little bit by the end of today. However, I just noticed something really interesting. A couple of shovels came up with this stuff. This is called high velocity quartz, and high velocity quartz, it actually belongs to the river that no longer exists here. You see, back in the day, there was a lot more water. This is what we call an undersized creek to produce this. Quartz is really hard, so to round it off like that is quite difficult. And when we find this in quantity, we sometimes find really good gold. The good news is there is gold in it. It's very fine and there's only a couple of pieces. But remember, we're looking at doing a bulk lot, so that will add up and we might hit a rich pocket, you never know. And more importantly, does that count as a shovel? So I'm up to 52. Number 69.
Nice.
I'm still a child. 86 shovels in, and I took a test pan because that's what we do on this channel, and we got more specs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 specs. You know, when I first started, I worked out that if you got between 10 and 15 specks of gold per shovel, and you did 600 shovels, you'd get a gram for a day. This actually might be worth it. It'd be hard work, but it might be worth it. 10 shovels later, and I just hit this really thick layer of white clay, and the speck count went up. We got about 10 or 12 little specks of gold in there. 1,000 shovels is a difficult feat on a good day, yet alone in Australia during the middle of summer. A bucket. 200 shovels, and I cleaned out the bottom mat. Superfine gold and a mat that I've only used a couple times. I wanted to make sure we weren't losing anything. And because the gold gods are on our side, we lost, well, not very much at all. We're looking at the bottom 2 mats that have been cleaned out, and all I can see is black sand. Literally nothing to worry about, which means we could theoretically keep running the top mat as is. This is brutal. It's about 32 degrees today, Celsius. We deal in the king's mathematics here. And don't get me wrong, I find the king completely gross, but it's a system I learnt and I'm too old to change. Ooh, heaps more black sand and more gold. This takes me back to old school Vo-Gus prospecting. To my eye, this looks like decaying bedrock to me, which means we might be close to the bottom. Oh, at least I built myself a seat in the water. Certainly worth checking regardless of how much is in there. We might be on a Bonanza City or Disappointment City. It really doesn't look like there's that much black sand in it, which is never good. No, it's the same as before. It's there, just not the Bonanza City I was hoping to be on the bedrock. I'm gonna do a full reset because the tailings pile's getting big and I need this to be efficient. I'm not gonna count my chickens before they're all in the eggs inside the basket, but that is looking very good. And there should be a little bit more in the bucket, and now there's gonna be even more than that. We've now been digging for 4.5 hours. We've done 400 shovels. That's 100 shovels an hour, which is a respectable rate considering that it's not very easy to transport the dirt from the hole to the high banker. I knew this was going to be a hard physical challenge, but I did not expect it to be this brutal. The biggest limitation we have as hobbyist prospectors is our muscles. We have to do everything by hand when it comes to digging and moving soil. And this means we burn on average 450 calories an hour whilst we're prospecting. And that's not including the heat that you're also contending with. On this day alone, I drank about 4 liters of water and I consumed somewhere around 2,000 calories. Oh my god, but 1,000 shovels, whose bright idea was this? As I go this way, I'm getting a really white kind of clay down deep, and the gold's like 4 to 5 a pan. See all this stuff floating in the water? That's not fresh, that's not new grass, that's coming up from really deep. And in the gravel is this. This is part of an old reed bed. So we would have had big water reeds sticking up around here somewhere. And that reed bed has some super coarse black sand in it. And I know it's too small to really see well on the GoPro, but there is several very nice little flakes of gold for this region in this pan. The reed pay streak goes in underneath my tailings and it's sporadic. I took a test pan out here on getting even better gold. This is the awesome thing about doing mining like this. We know that all of this dirt has just a little bit of gold. Look. Normally I'm all about finding the best, premiumest, creamiest spot. And the reason for that is that you end up with a lot of gold very quickly with minimal effort. But sometimes the gold just isn't concentrated, and if you can do the work like this, it still adds up really well. Six hours, 548 shovels later. I am Dunsky. That was constant, almost non-stop digging. That was a lot of work. Before we find out how much gold's actually in here, if you want to see more videos like this and you want to help support the channel, we've both got Patreon and the oldmoldy.com.au where we sell gold, gemstones, crystals and a bunch of other stuff. That money goes back into making videos like this. And thank you to everyone who's jumped on board and subscribed over the last couple of weeks. You guys have made a huge impact. Again, too much black sand in here to really reveal it. Oh, an air gun pellet. Ah, they're cool. I love finding air gun pellets. Don't know why, just enjoy the shape. Oh yeah, oh it's, wow, that's some fine gold. That goes to show you, this is just in gravel, this isn't even a deposit. That stuff is ultra fine. And there's a fair amount of it. That's really good. I'm willing to bet that there's probably going to be even more of that in the other mats. Fine gold like that does take a little while to settle, so we've done all right. My tailings pond certainly did its job. We almost filled it. But realistically speaking, this is just from gravel. This is not a deposit. This is like, I'm going to set up here and I'm going to throw through as many shovels as I can possibly throw through and we'll see what we get. Is it efficient? No. You've got to spend a lot of hours doing this. Is it easy? No. It's hard work. But if you're willing to do hard work, there's gold just in the gravel. Last week I finished the cleanup for this massive high banking session. I didn't make 1,000 shovels, 548 shovels is where I tapped out, but that's a pretty solid effort, I think. I did a full video on the cleanup and that will be released in about 7 days. In fact, we even went through the process of smelting down the gold so we could not only refine its purity, but also make sure that we got every last little piece of gold. So make sure you have the notifications turned on and that subscribe button hit if you don't want to miss out on that. This is my beautiful little gold button. That's all the gold I managed to collect after running 548 shovels of nothing but plain river gravel. And that is a respectable amount of gold. I mean, if we had an excavator in there and a proper sized wash plant, I reckon we would make bank. That is a seriously rich pay streak considering there was no deposit. But at any rate, let's find out how much it weighed. I'm going to guess that there's about maybe a 0.3, 0.32. 0.389 or 0.39, let's say. It works out to be roughly $20 per 0.1 of a gram, which means we made almost 80 Australian dollars at the time of recording. That is not too shabby. It cost me around 50 bucks with the diesel for the car, the petrol for the high banker, my lunch, and a little bit of wear and tear on the machinery. We made a tiny profit.